We now speak with the incoming DAR Chief himself. Good evening, Congressman. Welcome to the final word.
Good evening to you.
All right, let's start things off.
To be here.
Yes, Congressman, since the time of Marcos Sr. when DAR was formed, agrarian reform has encountered numerous setbacks from PD 27 to Cory Aquino's CARP and then to Gloria Arroyo's CARPer. Now, in your 8 years as a lawmaker advocating the rights of farmers, what have you seen in these programs that made them, according to some sectors, largely a failure? What are the problems encountered under these programs?
Well, first of all, let me be candid about it. During the time of my grandfather, when he was, he is, by the way, the first Agrarian Reform Secretary. And during their time, their coverage is only rice and corn, so it was easier. When the President Cory Aquino administration took over, they made it the coverage comprehensive, meaning all kinds of lands were all agricultural lands were subjected to agrarian reform. So that alone, you placed a lot of food, so much food in your mouth that you cannot chew it properly anymore and cannot swallow it. But it's there already. So I guess the other challenge that we have to face now, of course, is that in the CARP, they issued in the past what you call collective CLOAs. CLOAs are a certificate of land ownership awards. This is the CLOA, and they made it a collective CLOA, meaning to say that if, for example, there is 100 hectares, okay, of land, there were several persons whose name appear in the CLOA covering that particular land, that 100 hectares of land. But say there are 30 persons appearing in that CLOA. The problem now is that they did not pinpoint which land goes to whom. Like for example, if there are 30 names, o kanino ba pupunta itong portion na ito? Saan ba ako? Diyan ba ako sa malapit sa irigasyon? O ikaw naman, doon ka naman sa may bandang boundary. The assignment of land was not pinpointed to each person that was included in the collective CLOA. Well, there in some lands, some farmlands, they were able to agree among themselves, but in other farmlands, in other lands that were covered by this collective CLOA, there are some of them who did not agree.
So how do you plan to address this now?
Yes, of course. We'll be needing the support of the local government leaders, the local government officials, and also, if it need be, even the congressmen and the governors, because they're the ones who are interacting with these people.
All right. Well, Congressman, you will essentially lead in the distribution of farmland, but there are many issues raised, like some of the issues raised by some sectors in land distribution is fake beneficiaries, allegedly often in cahoots with landowners. Are you aware of this, and how do you intend to address this problem?
Well, yes, I am aware of it, and that's why when I take over, I am going to see to it that we will be able to identify who are the original owners and who sold their lots. And iba-iba kasi yan. Yung iba sinanla na nga eh. hindi na ano hindi na yung iba diyan na hindi na sila yung original persons that were included in the listed in the CLOA. Yes. That's why I really have to talk to the directors and the regional directors and the provincial agrarian reform officers to give us an accounting.
Well, okay, many farmer beneficiaries also fail to pay off their land because as we know, the land distributed is not exactly free, but also yung low productivity po, it has plagued beneficiaries for decades, and without higher production, they continue to remain in debt. Nababaon na po sila sa utang, ano po? So, and they're unable to pay the amortization. So, how do you intend to help these farmers?
Well, first of all, ang isa pang problema dyan, yung amortization table, hindi updated. The amortization table is not updated. So, problema na yan eh. Hindi mo na alam kung sino yung nagbabayad at and those who know the amortization payments were already retired or have passed away already. So that's why the moment we take over, or even as early as now, I am already talking to some past heads of the Agrarian Reform Department of Agrarian Reform, the past secretaries, and they will help me. I am very grateful to them that they will help me because we will do some pencil pushing. It might be more expensive to go back and make an accounting on who were able to diligently pay the amortization at kung sino yung mga hindi nakakabayad, yung mga ganon, those that are considered as bad debts. Marami na yan eh. Mm-hmm. But of course, there are other agrarian reform communities also that were successful actually. Some of them turned out to be productive, but yan, isa pa yan. I want to make an accounting who are the agrarian reform communities that are productive, that turned out to be a success, and those who failed.
Okay, Congressman, we're running out of time, so I want to ask you, do you see a need to come up with a new agrarian reform law, and what would it contain? What would it correct and continue from the previous laws?
Right now, I yet cannot say whether we need a new agrarian reform law. But there is something that is certain. We have to determine whether we can just condone these amortization fees that were not paid by the farmers, and with the government just paying the landowners instead. Because we have to do some pencil pushing, as I said earlier, whether it will be costlier for the government to go back and really make an accounting.
Very quickly, Congressman. Yes, would you also look at previous financing support schemes to beneficiaries because they've largely kept them in debt? Do you have different financing arrangements for farmers to allow them to keep their land?
What you mean is that would there be any collection scheme so that they can already have their own individual titles so that they can fully utilize their land? I think that is what you mean. That is where we have to conduct a study, really, as I said earlier, to see if it is maybe it will be costlier if we go back, and it might even take time to assess and to update the amortization table, as I said earlier.
Okay.
Now, if it's really more, it's costlier, then I guess it will be cheaper for us just to condone it and
Yes.
issue the titles to the beneficiaries, of course, to the original beneficiaries or the heirs of the original
Yes.
beneficiary.
A lot of things to do, Congressman, because farmers need support services. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. I'll be needing that, and I'll be needing a lot of prayers. But
Okay.
I think we will pull through.
Thank you for your time, sir. Incoming Agrarian Reform Chief, Conrado Estrella Sr.